Welcome to the dungeon. And it wasn't a long intro. It's same length as it always is. It was
No, that was longer.
It was that persistent tune that your head was like, "Please make this stop."
That
I'm
was
going.
like twice as long as any intro we've ever had on this.
No, I started at the 3 minute mark like I always do, and I actually cut it short because we usually go to like 1 minute in. I'm removing that one because like the constant unchanged. Like you're kind of waiting for it to break loose and be like, bah, 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 and it just never does that. So remove from the playlist. There we go. Welcome everybody. Broadcasting from different locations. I'm happy to be a flyover state for you, Marsland. So
I waved as I went by.
Yeah. So hopefully you're enjoying your time there. We're all here though. I say we're all here and Oz and Bishop are both gone. So welcome to the dungeon. We're gonna be here with you tonight. Hope you're ready for some story.
I thought it was all combat today.
It's all combat, yeah, amongst yourselves. And now Quentin's gone. So Marsland, it's just a one-on-one adventure between me and you. So well, folks, tonight's campaign will be voiced by me, every character.
And they're all dead.
Bishop, I don't believe we should be going down to the fair. Oz, I think you should go elsewhere. You don't understand the books I found. There were books that told me about the city. But True Silver told us that we don't... Oh, we're done.
No, please keep going. This is entertaining.
One of these days, I'm going to find a way for you guys to have to voice 13 NPCs that are having a conversation with each other. One of these days. Am I getting a call? Yeah. No. No. Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Your response should be streaming on Twitch. Join us on Seven Dungeons. And then that's it. And then just shut off your phone. It'll be like, what?
If that person on the West Coast knows me and they hop in here, sorry. Call before 7. So alrighty. Yeah, so let's get moving forward. Everybody's back in their chair now. So this week's beer of the week is M43 Strawberry Tart. It is a New England IPA. And this one's unique. It's pretty good, but it only releases on 420 each year.
I see what they did there.
Yeah. It's pretty great for an IPA. I know Fanboy Tone bought like 2 4-packs. Half-Ass bought at least one. They fly off the shelves, so it's not. It's from Old Nation Brewery. It's a pretty popular line. The M43 line is a pretty decent line from Old Nation as it is, but this one is unique. So, yeah, beer of the week. You can check those out. There won't be a review for this one. I mean, there may be in the archives, but check Half-Ass Beer Review out on that. Surprisingly, hold yourselves because there is no... Just happened.
You're leaving me in suspense. I'm holding myself. What you got, man?
There is no B&B this week. And to follow that trend, there will be no 7D next week. I have things to take care of, things to attend and deal with. So we won't be streaming this at least. He has a cat. Who has a cat? Yep. Williamston, Michigan. Oh, that's where Old Nation is. So yeah, we will be off. I'll remind everybody at the end of the stream again that we'll be off. Some notes from the other parts of the dungeon. Oz and Quentin, you guys want to tell everybody what's going on?
The June 25th one shot that's happening?
Yeah, but then we also decided something else just a few moments ago.
Oh, well, the May one we're going to cancel it for right now. I was going to try and fill in the gap with with our session being null and void next week, but that caused no end of chaos and confusion with all of the one shot planning. So we'll have to put that off until a later date.
We're sorry, those involved. We will make it up to you in some form.
It'll be the August one shot now.
That seems so far out. It seems so really far out.
I mean, every other month.
Yeah. To keep sanity. There also was some requests I saw to see me as a player in one of those.
There has been.
So maybe.
Gross.
I know. Right?
Do you even know how to play a character?
No. I know how to play.
Knows how to play 13.
Yes. Exactly 13. One more and you get a stack error and I just break.
Broken.
Yep. So I just Midwestern that, by the way. I just oped right here on channel. So all right. Anyone else got anything else?
Go follow the Instagram if you haven't already.
Yeah.
Ooh, Echo.
Yeah. Echo. Yeah. Be sure to check out our Instagram, our YouTube. Oh, I wanted to say something, didn't I, Bishop? I'm not sure if they're here or not, but to the serving staff that we got at what was that brewery we went to? It's escaping.
Sure, it wasn't your favorite, like Third Eye Blind or whatever.
It was not Third Eye Blind. Nope. Where did we can't hear you, Mike?
No, it used to be Rivertown, but now it's what is it?
Moeller.
It starts with an M.
Moeller.
Yeah.
Yeah. So me and Mike go to dinner. We have our guy dates that we go on, and and we're sitting there, and she's kind of looking at my shirt, and I'm like, my eyes are up here. And no, but no, she knows we both had like D20 shirts on, and we're like, hey, we're streamers, and she's like, do you guys got a card? So gave her a card. So if you're here with us tonight, welcome. So it was kind of a fun little interaction there. And the funny thing is that same location, different business, that has happened before. So they like to hire people who are into D&D, and I'm cool with that. So, all right. Just kidding. She was very nice. I don't have anything else. You don't have anything else. So without further ado, here's the intro. All right, let's get some music going. Where we left off, last week, the party traveled south from Candor's Keep and found refuge at a small farm next to Sandalwood Lake. Spending some time there, they did some fishing and some farming and found a new friend. Learned some details about the past of the ruins of Dash. They gathered their things and headed to the town of Smyrna, where they met some of the folk there, kind enough for what they are, and decided to stop at the inn. Quentin found refuge at the gambling table, and after some successful bits of gambling, they left him angry that he cleaned up. Bishop found a new curious person who was interested in his make, while Marsland found one of his own from Mershan. Poring over books, they looked into the history of Smyrna itself, and Oz sat watching the door behind him when one of the barkers came by, announcing, "You can be so much more than what you are, and we are here to help you. Join us near the docks for an exciting opportunity to grow yourself to the stature of a legend. Have you wished to unlock the wisdom of the gods, the power of a titan, or the wits of a harker? Then look no further than the Seminar of Instruction in the Arts, presented by the immortal Colton Frost, all the way from the Arboreum. Be here and change your life forever." One second. The bartender, Hethan. Oh boy. I do get tired of listening to him. I can't wait for this event to be over. Don't you?
What is this event?
Every year, he seems to stop by around this time and announces something. I must say I don't go myself. I'm not quite a fan of Mr. Frost. You know, come to think of it, it started coming around not too long ago, maybe a year, 2 years, maybe more. He had a son once, that Frost fellow, stayed here in Smyrna for a while, come to think of it. He looks at you. You share a lot of the same features, but you're a lady, not a nobleman elf from the Arboreum, aren't you?
I get that a lot. All of us elves all look alike, right?
We do get that a lot. But as such, I don't believe they ever found his son. They searched.
Son, you say?
Yes, they searched here for quite some time. He seemed quite sad that his son wasn't here, and since then, he returns around this time of year.
Several years. That's curious. Well, I do hope they find him.
Yes, at this point, I believe that son is probably dead and gone.
Yes. Gone, dead, unknown. So, why do you think so ill of Colton Frost? Is that his name, Colton Frost?
It It is coming from a house so strong, or even coming from the Arboreum. He's an intimidating fellow, even though he doesn't put on that way. It's just the air of his presence.
I see. Well, I sure hope I never meet him then.
You should. It's a great opportunity to get out of this place and head to wherever he takes you and experience new things. I don't want to spoil it for you. I think you'll quite like what you see.
Very curious about the turn of this conversation.
What turn?
You don't trust him, yet you're encouraging me to go and participate in whatever this endeavor is.
Oh, it's not that I don't trust him. It's just he's an intimidating person.
Oh, I see.
And not by words, just his presence. Have you ever met a king? Or a high noble? That air of power without flexing power?
I see what you mean.
That's Colton Frost.
Yes. I've met the type before. Well, my curiosity is piqued, however.
As it should be.
I have other things to attend to here. Well,
What do you
thank
have time? He doesn't arrive. Well, he'll probably arrive tomorrow or the next, but the event won't happen for 3 days or so.
Event?
Yes.
At the docks? Are they
yeah.
going to ship? Are they going to set sail and swim? Is this a swimming competition?
You kind of have to see it. But yes, they do. If you go down there, they'll be building the stage now, and there's a big presentation, and it's quite a show.
Interesting. Well, maybe it would be worthwhile to see.
I would. Being new to town, you should take in all that Smyrna has to offer.
Have we chatted with the barkeep before about the old city?
A bit.
Okay. Can't remember which ones we've chatted with. Well, thank you for the ale and for the tale. I'm going to go sit with my companions now.
Yes, I believe your dwarven companion cleaned out my regulars.
I'll chat with him about that, maybe.
I pay no mind as long as they come back.
Well, good.
They choose to frivolously spend their money. That's of none of my concern as long as they purchase from me from time to time.
Well, then, did you disclose your name?
I don't think he's ever said it.
Okay, you called him Hethan.
Oh,
and
did
I was
he?
like, oh, okay. I guess he called himself Hethan.
Did he say it last time? I don't remember.
Well, Hethan, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm going to go and see if I can borrow some money from my colleague over here, my compatriot.
Anytime.
I'll head over there to Gwyn.
Okay. You see Gwenton sitting at a table, and the dice are just kind of left there on the table. He's sitting by himself.
I'll pick up the dice, just roll them around in my hand. Yeah, there's a lot going on here, and a lot not going on here all at the same time.
Right? None of these people knew anything about the Undercity.
Yeah.
But apparently, these digital dice things decided to be on my favor last night or earlier. What did you find out?
And I'll look at them in my hand as I'm rolling them around. I found out more about this situation at the docks.
What is this situation at the docks?
All anyone will tell me is you should go to the docks and find out for yourself.
A little suspicious that they don't want to talk about, but they want to talk about it.
There's a lot suspicious about this town. You have to go outside of the town to find out anything about the town of note.
I suppose it's who you talk to. As far as I can see, Marsden's still talking to his friend over there. They've been at it for hours.
You look over and you just see them just like kicking their head back, laughing, and like grabbing another book and agreeing with each other. And it's
The bishop's still in the tavern.
Yeah, he's just sitting over there.
Yeah, I was just saying.
He's being hit on.
Well, everyone's found some distractions.
Fortunately, with these distractions, I don't know if anyone's has tried to find out where Caldera is here.
No, they haven't.
Why we're here, after all.
I've heard you've made quite a bit of money. Didn't know you were much of a gambler.
I wasn't. I made a small amount of change. A lot more than I put in on it, that's for sure.
Now, I have to ask, did you pray for success at gambling before you decided to roll the dice?
No, Helga. All I did was just roll a dice expecting to lose. You expect the worst. You can't be upset with the
Wonder what would have happened if you prayed for
it. Who knows? I mean, True Silver is not one for money. Should we go talk to Marsden over there and see if he's found anything out about this library he was so interested in?
Oh, am I back?
Yes.
Oh, okay. What time of day is it?
See, traveled. It's getting into evening for sure.
Okay. I think I might have a look around and see if I can find a clothing shop.
You're just now worried about clothing after all the traveling you have been like that?
Yeah, I am.
I mean, fair enough. Yeah, you want to go, we should let Bishop and Marsden know where you're going.
Well, are you going anywhere?
Well, considering that everyone's left the table, I guess I can accompany you if you need it.
So you guys are leaving?
Potentially, if he's not having problems with Zoom right now.
Oh, he is frozen, isn't he? There he is.
Hotel Wi-Fi.
Can you hear me?
I figured.
Oh. Hello?
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh, okay.
He's like, oh no, I'm frozen too.
We've got two on Hotel Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Helga, I can go with you if you want me to.
That'd be fine. Yeah, let's go. Let's go look for a clothing shop. Cloth.
Maybe we can find an inn to stay the night at too.
Yeah. suppose that's a necessity as well.
No, I'll walk over to tell, try to interrupt Marsland and say, hey, we're going to go look for an inn, and Helga needs to go clothes shopping, apparently. We'll be back in a little bit, and then I'll go tell Bishop the same thing.
Marsland, do you say anything?
Sorry, I was responding to a work message.
Yep.
What did you say?
He's just coming in and telling you that he's looking for a clothing shop and an inn.
I gotta go take the new bride, to go get new clothes, because apparently we got married last episode. Spoiler for anyone who didn't watch last week's episode.
Well, don't go too far. I've made a friend here. Sorry, I don't think I got your name.
My name? Of course you got my name. I've got to get to the page to get that name. Lomar from Roshan.
Oh, my bad. I guess I didn't fully write down your name and information in my notebook. How silly of me.
Yes,
we should just have Lamont in the channel.
Yes, you should have written that down. But I understand your excitement has been quite palpable.
Do you have any recommendations on where my friend can go for some clothing?
Clothing, not so much. You have the tanned hide if you want some standard leathers, but clothing shops, especially this hour of the night, not so much. Now, a place to sleep, you should head to the 40 Winks.
40 Winks? What are they winking about?
I do not know. I do not get that reference.
Interesting. It's a curious place. Is that where you stay?
Of course.
Well, if Lomar stays there, I imagine it's probably suitable for us. Perhaps you should go on your shopping adventure in the morning, Quentin.
It's not an adventure.
Everything's an adventure. No, that'd be fair.
You've gone through the transformations that I have. You
I'll
want
go
to get
procure
clothes
a
too.
place to stay.
Where is the 40 Winks from here?
It is around the corner, not entirely too far. Maybe a block or two down. Toward the south of town.
Could you lead us?
I guess if you could help me carry some of my books.
Only if you are willing to share some of the knowledge in your books over time. I'm greatly curious what you've been studying.
Of course, we can continue our conversations.
I'll help you carry some books. You seem to have a lot of them. Well, we might want to let Bishop know that what we're doing. I don't know if he wants to stay here any longer. And then I'll walk over to Bishop to inform him.
We are leaving.
We're going to go procure an inn for at least a little bit. If you want to stay here a little longer, from what I understand, the inn we're going to is called 40 Winks. It's just a couple blocks south of here. Not that you need a place to stay, but we'll let you know that we're going to go do that.
Right.
Apparently it's later in the afternoon than I thought it was.
I have no need to be here any longer.
Did you happen to hear anything about Caldera while you're sitting here?
I did not hear that name mentioned.
Lamar, do you know anything about Caldera?
Caldera. Is there another name? What? It sounds familiar.
It would
Last name
be
is
Stout.
Caldera Stout. Yes. She came by a couple days ago, but was not interested in any books, and it was pleasant enough.
Came through this building that we are in right now, or came through the city?
The city.
Was it at all obvious what she was in town for? Did she kind of keep to herself?
She had traveling companions, but I don't remember seeing them for long. And I can't say I've seen her since. Though I must say, I spend most of my time in such good reading and investigation. I've been quite interested. I not have told the rest of you, but I believe there's a city located underneath this city. And I believe there may be some great things there.
I don't think you mentioned the great things before.
It's possible that some of ancient artifacts are found in that area, and that it would be fascinating to see, including a library. A library filled with books.
Oh my gosh, this is so
Old
exciting.
books.
Can't even contain my excitement here. Is it possible that anybody else could be searching for this underground city?
I would love to talk to them if they are, because we could work together to find these books.
Well, surely only more hands would make this an easier task, and I can't imagine anybody would have any sort of nefarious intentions with finding an underground ancient hidden city.
Yes. Strange indeed. But if you could help me.
Traveling companions did she have?
It looked like 2.
What
Any
was their
other sort of
description?
what Bishop said?
Oh, your name is Bishop. Hello, Bishop. My name is Lomar.
Nice to meet you, Lomar.
Nice to meet you as well. It's good to see someone of your kind walking freely in the streets. We don't have near enough Warforged in this area, so it's good to see more. I find their technology fascinating. The power cores, the structure. Do you know who your creator was? They've done immaculate work.
I do not know. I know who repaired me.
Ah, fantastic. That's really neat. Should we be going?
After you.
I'll carefully take some of the books, knowing that if he's half as picky as Marsland is on books.
Don't you dare.
As you pick him up, he looks at you. Oh, careful with that one. The cover is a little brittle.
You want me to cast mending on it?
No. Books should be kept in their original condition.
Wasn't the original condition of this not a brittle book?
Oh no, it's very old. It's always been a bit brittle.
What's inside this book that's brittle?
Pages. That's usually what's
Is this
inside of
fine?
books.
And the cover?
Yes.
Just gonna very blankly
silly
stare at him and be
question,
like, really?
Marsden, how long have you been with these traveling companions? They seem so uninformed about the wondrous nature of scrolls and books and things.
So you must forgive my dwarven friend over here. They really enjoy hitting things. That's their form of reading.
Ah, okay. I choose to hit things. The books when I need to study.
You hit the books?
It's quite a funny expression.
You've developed your sense of humor. I'm very jealous of you. I've been trying to work on it, but it's so difficult.
It's so difficult.
Can you recommend a book to help me develop my humor?
It's hard to find from book. You just need to hang out with others.
Others like these.
Oh, definitely.
This eclectic group of people.
Definitely.
And things.
But this way, I'll take you to the inn.
As we're walking, I'm just going to be like, you take what's in it too seriously. I was referring to what is the information inside of the book on the pages.
Well, why didn't you say so?
Is that a joke?
Most people have enough common sense to say what's in it to not think of pages.
I mean, that's what I thought. Isn't that what you thought, Marsland?
It is. It's the way that you phrase the sentence. It's just logic.
As much logic as you apparently have at the mausoleum there.
Mausoleum?
Paying respects to an old friend.
Exactly. Thank you, Helga.
And after a bit of walking, you arrive at 40 Winks. On the sign, you see two eyes painted, one of them closed, and it says the 40 Winks. It swings back and forth. Yes, I'll be heading to my room. I have a suite on the upper floor, quite enough desks and things. I usually come out just to get some air and see the locals. I find them fascinating to study, but I think with some of our discoveries, I'm going to be spending some time in there. So, Marsland, if you want to continue studying for the location of this library or
yes, very much.
Anywhere else, please stop by tomorrow. I'll just be in my room upstairs, the top room. There's only one.
You have the penthouse suite.
I do. I tend to came into some wealth before I left Rashan, and it's helped me on my travels.
Wow, that is quite spectacular. I would be glad just to see that suite and the view of this city. I'll be sure to find you tomorrow.
Yes, please do. And to the rest of you, good evening.
Good evening, Lamar. It was nice to meet you.
Good evening. It was nice to meet you. And he turns and takes the rest of the books, and he's got them stacked up where he's kind of turning his head to the side to look around him and heads up. Nope. Oh, there. And he heads up the rest of the stairs. You see inside, it's a fairly decent looking inn. It's pretty well taken care of. There's couches that are, stuffed there, and they're kind of a red color. A lot of woodwork and heads of animals hanging on the walls. Bit of rustic to go along with the accents of the red. And behind the counter, you just see a human man. He's got dark hair and darker skin, and he's just standing there transfixed, looking at you.
We would like to get a couple rooms for the night.
You do. Fantastic. How many rooms would we need here? There's 1, 2, 3, 4 of you. Four of you. Okay. Four rooms. You're not sharing.
We are not sharing.
Great. And how long do you plan on staying?
Actually, Bishop, do you need a room? I can never tell if you want a room or not.
I wouldn't mind sharing a room. I don't take up much space.
Then Quentin and Bishop, that makes most sense for you both to have a room since, Quentin, you are the smallest.
Watch yourself. I'm fine with sharing a room. Doesn't bother me any.
So that's 3 rooms? 2 rooms?
I think 3 rooms would do.
3 rooms? Fantastic. And how many days will you be staying with us?
Are we going to stay until that event in town 3 days from now? This is to the group.
No.
I'm rather curious to see what this event is about.
We came here for a reason.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't know if...
1 week. And if it takes any longer than that, then we can...
Why? Why not start at like 3 days, and then it takes longer than that? We can pay for
How
more.
much is it per room per night?
5
What
silver.
is your name, by the way?
My name is Gerald.
Gerald.
Well, Gerald. 3 days then? I'll look at everybody else.
Yes, let's start with that.
3 days.
3 days.
3 rooms.
3 rooms. That'll be 4 gold pieces and 5 silver.
Total?
Total. Wait. No.
Yes.
You said it was a 5 silver per night?
9 silver per person.
What?
9 rooms.
Oh, 9 silver. I thought you said 5.
No,
I-
it's what'd you say? 5
5 silver per person. Yeah.
per
Math. Math is hard.
night? Oh,
It's per person, not per room.
yeah, that's 4. Yeah, it's 4 gold, 5 silver. Oops.
Yeah, per night.
Yeah. Wait, what?
So it's 15 silver a night for the 3 rooms by 3 days.
So it's 4.5 gold for
Yeah,
everybody for the
yeah.
whole time?
I was right. Yeah.
Yeah, you were right. You know, Electro, right?
Don't make me do it. I freaking will.
I'll put down 1 gold and the 5 silver.
I will
Okay.
put down the other 3 gold.
Okay. Thank you. And he reaches down and pulls out the keys and sets them on the counter. We hope you enjoy your stay.
Thank you. What time is breakfast served in the morning?
Oh, I'm sorry. I wouldn't say we have breakfast. You could take care of that over at the Drifting Wood. We do have some light. They like to call it the continental breakfast. It's just bread and some water.
Bread and water. I guess that is calories, and we do need calories, so
That
that's
sounds
at least
right
get to
up.
start.
Helga's alley.
I like bread.
Then,
I like bread.
then you will be quite delighted.
Particularly if it's soft bread.
It is quite soft. I bake it myself.
Excellent.
And do you have a library here?
He just kind of
And
looks
with
around.
that query, I'm going to go upstairs.
He just looks around.
I had very enough.
No.
Okay, I was just curious. I like to ask wherever I am, just in case they do have some sort of hidden gems. You never know.
I need a bath. And I can storm it upstairs.
Please excuse my friend. He can get a little short
B,
fused.
you inconsiderate doof.
Sorry, it is hard to keep track of.
Track of what? You see these?
In the middle of this inn, just everyone's getting a show.
I'm just imagining staring at the top of
And
the
then I
stairs,
just
just
storm
going.
upstairs.
So Gerald,
Yes.
where else do people stay in this town?
They
We're
stay-
looking for.
They stay here mostly. Some have family here. When you're in a town like Smyrna, you've been around for quite some time. So people have family and friends they come down and stay with.
Okay. Do you know anyone by the last name of Stout?
Stout. Not someone who has stayed here.
Okay. We're just here looking for her.
Oh,
Hoping to find her while we're down here.
I will keep an ear out.
Well, thank you. And then I'll take my key and go up to the room.
Sleep well.
Come back down and get my key. Go
Okay.
back upstairs.
Yes, you will need that.
Thank you. Pivot. Go upstairs.
Who's left?
I'll
I'm
take
following.
that key. Thank
When
you.
Okay. Pleasant dreams.
You as well.
Other dreams while working.
So you go into the rooms. They're nice. They do have their own bath. The beds look comfy. They all have a window peering out over the city just a bit. I'll start with Oz. What do you want to do?
Stare outside at the docks if it's in view.
Okay, it is.
Just gonna, I'm gonna pull up a chair if there's a chair in there, and I'm gonna stare out the window at the docks at what's going on.
Okay. Quentin and Bishop.
Is the bath like just a tub in the middle of the room, or is it like kind of closed off?
It's closed off. I mean, it's got like a privacy curtain that you can close.
Okay, so Bishop's not getting a show, which is why I wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take it back.
He could just turn his receptors off.
Yeah. Bishop's going to the window as well and just looking out over the city.
Okay. After your bath, what are you doing, Quentin?
I'll walk back out and say, "See, what do you see out there, Bishop?"
Not what I was hoping.
What were you hoping? Just to see Caldera walking in the street?
Marsland isn't the only one interested in that library.
Was I there? No, I was not there when they were talking about his past, so I wouldn't really know why he wants to know about it. Why do you want to know about the library? We can look for it while we're here.
Personal growth.
Fair enough. The books, I guarantee the books have some type of knowledge in it about something. But we also need to make sure we keep Caldera on our minds and gotta try to figure out how we're going to get a confession out of her still yet.
It seems like everyone we ask has seen her, and she is now gone.
I really hope we didn't miss her on the way down here, but maybe, for all we know, maybe she's going to that underground city. So maybe finding the library will find her.
We shall see.
And then, are you just going to bed, Quentin?
Yeah.
Okay. Marsland, what are you doing?
I am going to go to the window and take out my book and start sketching a map of the city as far as I can see.
Okay.
Everybody but Gwenton wants to look outside.
That's fine. How long are you going to do that, Quentin or Marsland?
How much of the city can I see?
I mean, facing toward the dock side, you can see part of the docks, part of the north side of the town. You're not up as high as you'd like to be. You can see just the tops of the rooftops. But you could get
very good at maps.
Yeah, you could get probably 15% of the city.
Okay, I'll spend like an hour or so.
Okay, and then just going to bed.
Yep.
The Bishop and Oz. How long are you looking out the window?
I'm gonna give it about an hour, and then I'm gonna slip out and try and go downstairs, and head out to the docks.
Okay. Bishop.
I think I'm just gonna stay there. Probably about all night. I'll take my 6 hours, but I'm still gonna position myself at the window and just looking out, since I can still see and am conscious as I'm doing it.
Are you looking for anything, or are you just watching?
Well, I don't even know what Caldera looks like, so
Okay. Fair enough.
we weren't really given a description.
Nope. All right. So Oz, you wait about an hour and then you quietly slip out of your room and head out the outside and down the streets toward the dock. When you arrive at the docks, you see there's not a whole lot of people out. The moon is high. It's rather dark outside, but yeah, there's a ship or two in port, but no ships you're familiar with.
Nothing, no building or construction that I see going
Oh
on
yeah,
yet?
there definitely is the startings of just like a wooden pedestal with some stairs going up to it. They're building some stuff to hold banners and that kind of things, like your typical old school presentation platform.
Okay. All right. People are around there?
Not at this time of night.
Okay. I didn't know what time it was. So.
It's dark.
Are there banners up?
Nope, not yet.
Okay. I'll keep my hood up. Look around at what's being built. Stare out at the waters. Then turn back and head back to the room.
Okay. As you're heading back,
Hmm.
we need a shirt that says that. As you're heading back,
Street thugs come and assault the woman who's walking outside by herself.
and Bishop, you see this too, and it kind of makes you stand up and look. There's a bit of commotion, and you see there's probably 6 hooded figures walking through the streets, 2 by 2. They've got small torches with themselves. You can see the light kind of reflecting off the buildings. They're keeping their heads down, and they're just passing through the streets silently. Oz, you see them too.
Well, since I've got kind of a height advantage, I'm just going to follow them with my eyes,
Okay.
see where they're heading.
Oz, what do you want to do?
They're coming towards me?
You're at like a T intersection, and they're heading south. And you, Bishop, you also see them heading south.
Okay, they're not coming towards me.
Nope, they're past
All
you.
Okay. Gosh, I'm gonna get myself freaking killed again. I'm going to keep a good distance behind me, hood up. I'm going to try and see where they're going.
Okay. Roll a stealth.
Stealthily.
Or roll a stealth check.
Yeah.
Nat 1, rage.
There you go. 4.
All right.
Oh no.
You got a backup character? No. So you begin following them for a while, and Bishop, they've left your sight. You actually see Oz because his stealth is so terrible.
I'm like Kronk. Like
Looking down,
Like-
you actually see somebody who's trying to be stealthy, but they're all like,
Yeah, you're pretty sure you know who it is, but you see him like kind of putting his arms out, like he's over exaggerating being stealthy, and he's like holding up against a building and looking from side to side, and until he goes out of your vision range, and you follow them for a while, and they begin speeding up before they get to where there's like a torch illuminating the street. And one of them turns around, and you can see a mask covering their face. The mask is real, it's soulless, it's just plain light facial features and 2 blank eyes staring out at you. You can't even see the actual wearer's eyes behind the mask. and they will, he looks at you. Leave this place. It's not for the outsiders. And with that, their hand shoots up and everything goes black. For a moment, Oz, you think once again you've died.
That is exactly what I'm thinking.
Before the area clears and the shadows dissipate and you find yourself standing in the same spot.
AFK for a second.
The hooded figure's gone.
Wow. Interesting. Now, try and I'll go forward a little bit and then see if I can find where they may have gone. Was that like an intersection?
No, it was just a long street.
Just a long hallway?
Yeah.
Or no, alleyway?
Main street.
Okay. Well, I'll continue down there and I'll see if I discover any trail.
Yeah,
they might have led.
There's no trace.
Well, I suppose that was fruitless. And I'll try and head back to the hotel or inn. I'm in a hotel. I need to go to the inn.
You approach, step inside. Gerald just looks at you. Fine night for a walk?
Yes. See anything interesting out there late at night?
Outside of a drunkard or three?
Drunkard.
Drunkard, yes. Nothing
Okay.
of concern, I would say.
No hooded figures.
Hooded figures, not. I mean, I think people are bundling up. It is getting.
I mean, minus
quite the
me,
show.
and then I'll pull my hood back.
Yes, I see one right now.
All right. Well, yes, late night walk did me some good. I may be able to finally rest. These new areas, new towns, new noises. It's very difficult to sleep. Huh.
I
Good
can
night.
understand that. Good night. You're gonna head up to your room and sleep?
Yep.
Okay.
Shower, sleep.
Okay. So you rest and sleep. Bishop, what are you doing? You just gonna shut down?
I can still monitor. I know everything that's going on around me when I do it, so
Yeah.
I'll just stay at the window and continue to look, see if maybe I see him come back this way.
Okay. You don't. The night passes fine, and the sun rises. Morning comes. We'll start with Gwenton. You were the first to go to bed. You kind of sit up in bed and you see Bishop's just still sitting at the window.
Did you not move at all night?
I did not.
Well, did you see anything happen on the streets of Smyrna at 2 o'clock in the morning?
There was a strange occurrence of people in cloaks and torches walking down the street. And I believe Helga was darting back and forth, following them. It was quite odd.
The hell could Helga have been doing following them at night? Unfortunately, we're assuming that's a weird occurrence. Maybe that's their night watch for all we know.
Maybe. I did not have that close of an eye on them.
We'll have to ask Helga when we see her shortly here. Then I'll get up and get ready. And then
Okay.
head downstairs.
Marzan, you're next. You awaken.
Nothing special. Just gonna wake up and head down and actually, never mind. I'll wake up and go to the penthouse and see if Lamar's awake. Give a light tap at the door and see if I hear a response.
Lomar, not Lamar.
Lamar!
Y'all killing me.
Oh, okay, fine. I'll go see if Lomaine's awake.
I'm going to kill
Lomaine?
So, you go and knock on the door. Oh, good morning. I didn't expect you so early, but I've already been into books. How are you today?
I'm good. I was curious if you'd be awake or not. I couldn't hold my excitement. You said you wanted could use a little bit of help potentially finding this underground city, and well, what am I else to do but to put myself fully into that?
Okay. So he invites you in, and this room is immaculate. It's not only is it just clean, everything's in order. Books are like categorized in different areas. Maps are on the wall. This is a dream come true. But are you wanting to spend the day doing this?
I was just gonna see what was up, and then if it is going to take, or if we're going to be spending a bunch of time, I would go down to the lobby to let the rest of the people know that I am up with Lomaire.
Okay. You can see by the way things are laid out, he's set up for an all-day investigation session. If you'd like to join me, this is all I'll be doing today. I believe we have some answers we can find.
Oh, you're further along than you led on yesterday.
It's hard to show my progress without the maps. You need the maps to go with the books.
Oh, you always have to have the maps.
Definitely
the maps are the most important bit.
And he reaches back and he pulls out a scroll and he unravels it, and it's the entire town mapped out. Look, I have walked the streets and mapped out this entire city.
You have done. This is May I?
Oh, of course.
This is spectacular. The level of detail you have here. Every kink in the road, every jut out of every building you have documented. This is incredible.
You can see small indications of like even people standing out certain buildings.
Are these the shopkeepers for each building?
Yes. I actually have a legend here, and he pulls out another small scroll and unravels it, and it's got the business names with the shopkeepers.
This is amazing. I've never encountered anybody outside of Rashan that has the level of attention of detail that Vidalkin can have. This is incredible.
Most do not operate at our level.
I started to make my own map last night, but it's quite pitiful compared to yours. Here, this is it.
Don't fret. It takes time.
It does. Well, if we're going to spend you have quite a bit of work laid out here. Let me just inform my friends first before I spend too much time up here.
Yes, here. And he reaches in, he pulls out 5 gold pieces. Give this to the innkeeper and tell him we'll be needing refreshments throughout the course of the day.
What kind of refreshments are we going to have that's 5 gold?
Oh, it'll cover everything. Don't worry.
If you insist, okay. I'll take it.
Okay.
I will be right back, and I'll head downstairs.
Okay. Oz, you're the last one to wake up?
All right, I'll get up and take another gander outside. See if I see any figures.
There's people walking the streets all over. It's a normal morning. The air blows in through the window. Feels good. Smells good.
All right. I'll head downstairs.
Okay. You head down.
See-
You see everyone else there. Marsden, you've already had a conversation with the innkeeper, and
Sure.
everyone's just kind of there, waiting for you to come down.
Well, hello there. Are you all joining me to go to the clothing shop?
No.
Oh, good.
I will be upstairs with I'll be upstairs with Lomain. He is Lomar.
You're not very good at remembering your friend's name, are you? There, you need to write it a few thousand times.
I might need to go to a chalkboard or something and write that down a few times. Thank you for the suggestion, Quentin. Quite helpful.
If you're studying for the underground city, Bishop, do you want to help them, or you want to travel and walk around town with us?
Did I say that I was doing that?
I would have thought you said you were doing that. If you didn't, then I correct myself.
Well, I finished that to saying that.
I mean, it's not like
We
you didn't know you
have-
were interested in a library.
We came here for another reason, Marsden. What research are you helping him with?
Helping find the underground city and the potential great fountain of knowledge that this library could have. If you think that this is not worth my time, and I could eventually
Is-
forego it.
He close to finding an entrance?
Oh, I just said hi to him this morning, and he has quite a lot laid out. He's made seemingly a lot of progress, but I can't say if he's close or not yet.
Well, technically, we don't even know who Caldera looks like.
Do I know what Caldera looks like?
I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say you spent a lot of time in Ashpoint.
Okay.
Your friend did mention that he saw her in passing. That might help us.
Could ask him if he could recall enough detail to make a sketch of Caldera. Us Vidalcan are very detail-oriented.
Unless it comes to names.
I'm quite good at remembering names.
It's if he could describe what she looks like, that would help us greatly in trying to find her.
As I could walk the city while Helga gets clothing.
Excellent. Let's talk to Lomar and see if he can make a sketch for us.
Lead the way. You know where he is.
All right, let's go.
Are you all going up?
Happened to find the clothing shop, Helga, while you were out last night.
Ah, you saw me.
Anybody looking out their window probably saw you.
Well, I've never been known for being stealthy. Well,
I
yes.
take it all went well with that endeavor.
I visited the docks looking to see what is going on down there for obvious reasons. And on my way back, I saw a few hooded figures who I then decided to follow.
Well, you are not dead, so
No, I am not.
there is that.
They got the slip. They looked at me with some very interesting voices, almost snake-like. And then I couldn't see them any longer, and they were gone. So, That embarrassment aside, I'd like to go get some clothes.
Believe, Bishop, that the clothing shop that Lamar told us about is. Are we? Did we go away from or towards a clothing shop when we went to 40 Wings?
You're not sure because you don't know where it's at.
He said it was like 2 blocks south of us from a tavern.
Okay, so it'd be a bit closer. Yeah.
Okay. We're not too far from it. Based on what Lamar told us earlier. It was 2 blocks south of the tavern, right? I'm not going crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to go. And if you wish to join me, you can. It will not be very exciting, but it will be something.
Once we get a description of what Caldera looks like, I'll try to find you so that you can see the sketch too.
Good. All right. I'll see you soon.
Don't get in any trouble. Stop following strangers. Stranger danger. Don't need a repeat of Briarford.
And I'll smile. And then pivot and turn.
Bishop, are you going up as well?
Yep.
Okay. So you all go up, and Marsland, you knock on the door, and Lomar answers. Oh, I see you have brought your friends. Are they here to study as well?
I don't know if they're necessarily here to study. Hopefully you don't mind me bringing some company. But we're hoping you could help us give a little bit more detail into what Caldera looks like.
Caldera. A Githyanki woman. Kind of an olive skin, and it looked like maybe black tattoos on the neck. Kind of darker hair with a silver stripe down one side.
Are you much of a drawer by chance?
Not quite. While my memory is great for facts, not as much for faces.
Are faces not facts?
Faces can change. We get older, and we look different.
I mean, that is true. If you could just draw her to the best that you can remember, it would help us greatly.
Okay.
What did her 2 companions look like?
It looked like one was maybe a Goliath, and the other, I believe a Yuntai.
I imagine there's not too many Yuntai and Goliaths walking around the Thanky. We should be able to find them if they're together.
He rolled a 3.
No.
He sketches out to the best of ability. You can tell it's a Githyanki, but
It's a stick figure.
discernible.
Snake tail.
It's above a. The Githyanki don't have snake tails. They're just
Sorry,
green.
the yin one I was referring to.
Yeah. It's not great.
Well, the description of them helps greatly.
I hope so.
And we'll let you guys be at it. Sounds like you have a lot to figure out. Marsland here says you're closer than he thinks.
I like to think so, but the maps and books, it seems like an active effort has been made to hide the information.
Various reasons why someone would try to hide it. However, you do find the entrance. Would you be interested in an adventuring party to go down with you?
Oh, me. I would definitely hire someone to go down and make sure everything is okay before I explore the library. I'm not much for adventure.
Well, if you
outside
don't
of
mind,
a
can we
good
be
book.
first on that list?
I would be willing to pay you all if you're willing to make sure it's safe for one such as myself to go down.
We'd be willing to do that. Well, or else we'll die trying.
Oh, let's not go too far. I don't want to see anyone die on my behalf.
But we'll tell when time comes.
But I must get back to my studies.
Yes, of course. Marzin will be in touch later tonight.
You will be in touch with me?
Yes, I imagine you're going to be here the entire time.
Oh, yes, certainly, if you guys don't mind me taking the time to help out here.
We'll, when we come back tonight, I'll come up and inform you of any events that happen throughout the day.
I would greatly appreciate that, Quentin. So accommodating. Marslin's slowly taking steps, just little baby steps into the room.
I'm just gonna walk out.
Bishop, are you walking out with Quentin?
Yeah.
Okay. So Marslin, since you're going to be doing this all day, for the first part of the day, roll a D100 with advantage.
85.
Okay.
And wow, 96.
Damn. You found the entrance.
Okay. And now roll with advantage again.
Same D100?
Yep.
How do I get advantage?
Because Lomar is helping you.
Oh. 46. Oh, 29. 46.
Okay. So, as you go through the books, Lomar says, "Aha! I see. The fonts did exist and were attached to magical ley lines under the ground. We talked about the theory when we were in the tavern recently about these magical fonts. They do exist. I found it right here." And he shows you, it's a very old, brittle book, and you can see runic symbols around and different things. And what you notice while you're looking at the book is that there were actually 3 fonts, one in Smyrna, one in Dash, and one in an ancient city that stood where Sandalwood Lake is. And I can send you that information.
Okay, please.
Yeah.
Oh, would you look at that? This is fascinating. What a discovery.
You're right. This is important because that shows that Smyrna and Dash are linked by something, but there's no city on Sandalwood Lake. That doesn't make any sense.
There must have been something there long ago. I wonder if something must have covered it up, just like this city, Smyrna. Maybe underneath the lake.
It's quite curious. Let us continue. Helga, you arrive at the Threaded Needle, and you walk inside, and you see a rather portly woman, human, and she's got kind of a big hat with a feather in it, and she's a little bit taller than Gwenton, but not by much. Oh, look at you! You can't be going about in clothes like that. And she comes up and she starts lifting him up and like, who dresses you, dear?
I do.
Oh, that doesn't sound like a woman, but yeah, what can I get you today?
Yes, I am a woman. Thank you.
I can see that. a little blessed in the upper parts, huh? Me too. And she holds her boobs.
I'm looking for something. Now, notice my cloak and hood here.
Yes, it looks quite worn.
It is. I'd like something similar, but with the ability to cover my face.
So a deep hood.
No, I want to cover the lower half of my face.
Oh, something to pull up over your face.
Yes, similar to what I posted in chat.
Oh.
Yes, to cover my face.
Yes, I believe. Stay right here. You're tall. And she goes back in the back. And you just see her. She kind of leans back and looks back at you, and the hat stays in place. And she's like, dear, is there a color you prefer?
Black.
Not one for color, I see. And she comes back, and it's she's got like a almost like a black tunic that's split like a V in the front. The sleeves kind of bunch up. They're not poofy sleeves like from the 80s, but they bunch up a little bit in the upper arm and then extend down into like almost like an elastic fit over with two things that loop around your fingers, giving like this little attachment there and on each arm. She's got these kind of airy type black pants that give a lot of leg room, and a cloak that goes over. And you notice the tunic is bunched up around the neck as well, and you can see where it can pull up over the top of your face.
This doesn't qualify as armor, correct?
No, not at all.
Okay. I didn't think so. Will it fit?
Do you not trust me? You come into my shot?
I don't know you. Is this... Can you...
Here, put this on. And she starts like taking your current clothes off. It's okay, dear. I've seen it before. I got them myself and take. She just.
Yes, but I haven't. No.
It's fine. They all look the same. They're just different size. Okay. While that's going on, Bishop and Gwenton, where are you going?
I was going to go to the clothing store to find Helga so I could let him know what we found out about how Kadera and her two compatriots look like. So this is going to end fantastically.
So you walk in and you see this short, portly woman like trying to pull the clothes off of Helga. And you can see some clothes laying off to the side and Helga completely rejecting what's going on.
Are you in need of assistance, Helga?
Ooh, I don't have anything.
Clothes. Who is behind me?
You kind of struggle to pull back just enough where your eyes can see, and there's some stuff starting to fall and hang out.
I'm fine. Can't you see I'm fine?
You grab the clothes real quick, and you notice there's a door off to the side, and you run over and start changing in a room. Well, what can I do for you two today?
Well, for the most part, we're just looking for our friend. Wasn't expecting to see that much of her on this trip.
And she's just looking you over. Now, I don't have anything for you. And she knocks on Bishop. Nothing I got will fit you. And I don't think you're much like for clothes anyways. But you, little dwarf, I think we've got something that would work for you. Woo! When was the last time you washed your clothes?
A while. I took a bath last night.
You can wash the skin, but you got to wash what goes over it from time to time.
Yeah, it just hasn't been the time yet.
Oh, honey, it's the time.
Is it that month already?
Are already here, Quentin.
I mean, if she's offering to wash my clothes, I suppose I can't say no. However, I don't have anything else to wear with me at the moment. It's almost like we are at a clothes shop or something, though. So it's not like I
Yeah,
can find anything.
you just happen to be standing in the right place. I'll wash your clothes for you. I'll take care of it. That'll be 2 silver to wash the clothes.
I know much.
Hey, that.
Oh wow! Wait, you can't smell. You're calling me stinky?
No, I'm not. I'm not calling you stinky. I'm just.
I'll let you.
paying for your clothes.
I'll let you rent some underclothes for a silver for the day, as long as you don't tear them or do anything bad to them. No stains, or else you got to pay for them.
I'll throw in the 3rd silver.
Okay.
I guess I have no choice.
And she starts trying to take your clothes off of you, wrestling.
No.
Let's get these. Come on, let's get these off of you.
Like to strip people, don't you?
I got a business to run.
Doesn't mean you're gonna strip everyone who walks in here.
Moments later, Helga, you come out. It fits very well. It looks nice. You look very roguelike.
Quite well. You did quite well.
Of course I did. Now, that'll be 1 gold for the set.
Yes. Do you have another?
I have one in a deep purple, but I don't have any more black.
I'll look at the other 2. Oh wait, is Quentin still there?
No, he's shuffled his
Oh,
way into his
change.
own
Okay.
room.
I'll look at Bishop and I'm like, I'll take it. Take the purple.
Okay. So 2 gold for both sets.
Yep. Well, you've done yourself quite well.
Gwenton comes
eye.
out moments later, and it's pretty regal. It looks like royal clothes, a little poofy in the shoulders underneath the armor and things. But he looks clean. Like everything about him is spotless and clean.
Like this. Took forever to get those dirt on my nails.
You are a man of the cloth. You should have a little more respect.
A man of the cloth.
I mean, you're not wrong there, Bishop.
Good.
You did realize how clean Trenton was compared to. There is some sort of showmanship in what he does.
Well, you can come by tomorrow to get your clothes. They'll be ready in the morning.
Okay, I'll be here in the morning to get them then.
Feel free to shop as long as you like.
Thank you. Now step outside.
I'll follow them out.
Thank you.
Thank
Have
you
a
for
nice
the help.
day.
What was your name again before we leave?
I done closed it because Rena Wesley.
Rena Weasley.
Wesley, not Weasley. I don't have red hair.
WSTLEY or LY?
Westly.
Okay. Well, thank you, yeah, Wesley.
Anytime.
I'm gonna step outside and wait for
Okay.
the other 2.
Day to day, people are just going about their business.
Okay.
What
Purple clothes in hand.
once we get out there, Helga, sorry. All we can find out about Caldera and her 2 compatriots are, and then I'll describe this. Unfortunately, and I'll show the drawing that Lamar did. Lamar wasn't a very good drawer.
Ooh, that's indistinguishable from dirt. Well,
I would say that Marsland is the better artist out of the two.
Oh,
Lomar
Yeah.
might be better at taking notes,
Fair
as
point.
seeing all those books and maps he had laying around.
I mean, that would be very accurate based on what we know.
hey.
Well, I've come across a conundrum. Now, this new outfit has the potential to keep me somewhat veiled and hidden, but as Rena duly noted before you arrived, I still sound like a man. I don't think there's anything I can do about it without seeming like a mockery.
There are such things as mutes.
Mutes.
Just don't talk.
I'll try that.
But since we are talking, you said that they found you following them last night. And then you were surrounded in darkness.
Yes.
Did you search the area to see if maybe there was a hidden entrance somewhere?
I can take you to where I believe they spotted me. And we can look ourselves, but
Quentin brought up that they might have been a city patrol, but from what you described, I don't believe that is true.
I saw clothed or hooded figures skulking about in the dead of night, a pack of 6.
You also said when the one spoke to you, they sounded like a snake, right?
It was an accent that I haven't heard very often. There was definitely snake-like.
We did find out that one of Valdera's compatriots is a Yintai?
Gith Yankee?
One of her compatriots is a Yintu.
Yantai.
Yun Tai. I thought you said Gith Yankee. I couldn't understand the accent.
She herself is a
Yun
Gith
Tai.
Yankee.
If you remember, she also said, or he also said, that the other one was a Goliath.
Yes.
Does that sound familiar?
From the 6 figures, did I see one that stood out that may have been a Goliath?
Not really.
It was dark. It was dark out. And
I'm just suggesting that maybe our friend from Briarfork might be around.
Maybe. If it's the same one.
with the escapade that's going on at the docks, I can believe it.
We know that there is a connection between him and
Valdera.
True.
Caldera, plus him and Mr. Frost.
Well, I tell you what, let's walk over to the docks and we'll retrace my steps and see if we notice anything.
I would suggest that when we are around places as dangerous as that could be, you keep your mouth shut. It is a lot easier to feign maybe a facial
Yes,
deformity and you can't speak.
yes. For that I will try. Yes.
After you, Helga.
Here, let me show you the way.
And as we're walking, I'm going to keep my eyes on any kind of shitty description.
Right. Yeah, best to look for a If Yankee, a Yin-Tu, or a Goliath walking together, any combination of the two? Three?
You don't see that. I mean, you have seen other Githyanki, but they don't match the description. No tattoos, different kind of skin tones and things. The docks, you can hear the hammers sounding. They've now set up some banners with the frozen tree on it, on the stand. You trace those footsteps around all the way to the point where they disappeared on you, and nothing seems out of place or strange.
And we're at the docks, right?
Wherever you want to be. Yep.
Yeah, over at the docks. So take a look at what they're building over there.
Yeah, it's a platform. They're setting up some banners and things. Yep, they're just getting it decorated now.
Anything discernible on the banners or anything? Do I recognize the house sigil or anything?
It looks very familiar.
Almost like a frozen tree.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't know what I think about that display. And I'll whisper, let's go this way. Now I'll start heading towards the where I spotted the hooded figures and try and retrace my steps.
Trace it back to the point where they you lost them.
Okay. Anything in the light of day that would reveal where they may have gone?
These just look like normal streets.
What do the buildings look like around this area?
They're a lot like the same. The stone and stucco and different types like that. Looks like homes.
I want to stop somebody on the street. Pardon me. I don't like to intrude, but...
Yes? How might I help you?
I couldn't help but notice. In my inn room last night, I saw some hooded figures with torches walking around at night.
Sure.
Can I ask, what is that? Is it a church thing?
I think it's a church thing. I know what you're talking about. I've seen them. Sure seems like a church thing. Not my kind of church. I go to the other temple, but people are free to worship how they worship.
Oh, I quite agree. I am just new here and happen to notice it. Do they gather at a specific location?
They don't gather here. They pass by here and they just kind of disappear into the darkness. It's none of my concern. They don't hurt anyone.
Well, that is good to know.
Yes.
Do they head in that direction?
Yeah, down that road there. Far as I can see, but that road gets really dark at night, even with the torches.
Interesting. Well, thank you for your time.
Have a good day, and welcome to Smyrna.
I look at the other two and start walking down that roadway.
Following them.
Okay. This look like homes.
I'm going to actively look for anything that just looks out of place.
All right.
Different kind of masonry, or does the road look well traveled, or that area?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Go ahead and roll a perception.
we helping him look, or is he technically kind of looking by himself? I imagine we'd all be trying to find something.
Once we were walking away, I'd tell them what.
Yeah, all of you can roll perception.
Is I can be a I get above a 10?
Okay.
Above a 10!
That's your highest perception roll ever.
This campaign.
Yeah. So you looking around, the buildings to the south of you, let me switch over so everybody else can see what I'm talking about. On the map, you see the orange buildings. They're decently older than the other buildings to the north. As you're down this way. They're not any more worked or worn. The folks who live there seem a little bit more on the rougher side than the rest of the town.
Like just poor.
Just poor, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if I was gonna hide somewhere, poor part of town would probably be about where I'd hide.
I'll stop someone down here this way as well and kind of ask the same questions.
Yeah, what do you want?
I happened to notice last night there was a group of individuals in hooded cloaks. I was told that they come out this way. I found that fascinating.
Maybe they do. Maybe they don't.
What would persuade you to tell me?
I'm going to lean over and whisper into what I believe is Bishop's ear. Money.
Uh-huh.
He just has his palm turned out just slightly. You know, I don't know what persuades me. I have a horrible memory.
Do you? That's a shame. You should probably go and have that looked at.
I can't afford it.
I will put 15 gold
In his hand?
in his hand.
It's a miracle. The gods must have returned. My memory feeling great.
That
Red.
That is very good to hear.
Red cloaks, torches. Yes, yes. And he just tucking the gold into his pouch like as fast as possible. Yeah, come right through here. Then I tell you, we live here a long time, and the whole place just goes dark, like the night and moon itself turns the lights out, and then poof, they're gone.
Any idea of where they may be going?
No idea. I wish I knew, because I'd like to learn how to do that myself.
Do they ever leave this part of the town? Or do they just disappear after the darkness?
They just disappear, and the funny thing is, every night, come back through again, and then poof, every night.
About what time?
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
About what time every night do they come here?
It's well after dark. Sometimes I'm up if I'm fighting with the missus. Sometimes it's better to sleep on a roof than in the house with a raging woman. You know what I'm saying?
I understand that. Where's the last place in this town that you guys have ever seen them?
Last place, we see him along this road. Don't go looking for him. Nobody gets in their way. Nobody stops them. They don't harm nobody. I don't care.
Continue, Bishop. Sorry to interrupt you.
There's no meeting place. It seems that everybody that has seen them says the same thing. Darkness envelops the area.
Does it sound like something magical to me?
I tell you, I think they're demons. They ain't got no faces. No faces at all.
Well, that's not exactly. And I pull out the mask that I have.
Yeah, I see what you did there. That's not the same. They look like ghosts, I'm telling you. I myself like to go inside when they come through. I ain't hurt nobody, but I don't want to give them no chances.
Any unusual sounds or anything coming from any of the buildings around here?
Sounds? No. Smells? Sometimes. Not all the time. But that could be my wife's cooking. It's not great.
Are there any abandoned buildings out this way?
He points over to the basically the block next to his. A lot of those are, but I wouldn't go over there. You got thieves and beggars. I mean, I'm in bad shape, but not like them.
Well, I appreciate the information that you provided. I hope the gift helps your memory.
I appreciate you fixing me old noggin. I like having that working the right way. The wife will be real happy. I'll remember to take out the trash and do the chores, I bet.
Okay. That's all I got to say to him.
First, I got to see a man about a dog. And he's just like briskly walking over. I'm going to get some beer. I'm going to get some beer. And he just heads north.
Obviously, they don't want people knowing what they are doing.
Is he out of? Is everybody out of range of?
Oh, yeah.
It appears we may need to search some of these buildings here.
I would agree.
Should we tell Moslin or continue on with our search?
Let's continue
I
on.
was going to say, how long have we been out here doing this?
At this point, walking the town, questioning people, doing things, it's probably getting close to around dinner time ish. So the sun hasn't set yet, but it's getting there.
You two must be hungry.
I am.
I suggest we meet back up with Marslin and see where his investigation has taken him. We can always come back out here.
Shall we go back to the tavern? Winton?
Yep. If it's this late, I told Mars that we'd check in with them. And considering what part of town we're in, I don't want to get these dirty because I don't want to have to buy them. But it sounds like we're going to be possibly back here tonight or tomorrow night trying to find out who these people are.
I just find it interesting that there is a city built on top of a destroyed city. And now there are masked individuals that don't want people knowing what they are doing, wandering the streets.
They could be involved in the underground city, or they could be involved in something else.
Obviously, there's something going on here, and people of this town either don't realize it or don't get involved.
Something tells me it's more the don't get involved side.
Busy with their own lives, not to care for anything else, what's going on around them.
Sometimes ignorance to what's happening is bliss for the person. Imagine we're talking about this as we're walking back to the tavern.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're moving.
Going to the tavern or the inn?
Sorry.
Okay. As you're walking back, you hear and you see a shadow over you, and you look up, and it looks like the bottom of a boat, but it's in the air, and it passes over toward the docks.
Have either of you guys ever seen anything like that?
Well, that is interesting.
Yes.
You did say you had experience with boats, didn't you, Helga? But you did the ship for sailing wasn't the same kind. Is that the kind you're talking about?
A little bit. The ship I was talking about goes a little bit further than the sky.
This one looks pretty familiar, Helga.
Has Oz's name on the side of it.
Have you seen this boy?
Like a banner behind it.
We are looking still.
Although that ship is definitely Colton Frost. I have been on that ship.
Gwen, this is the first time you've seen anything like this, and Bishop, you've never seen anything like this, even in your time.
How does it fly?
Magic.
I mean, I could have explained that too.
I'm sure it has very deep construction, very sensitive.
Indeed. I never got too much into how my training did not take me there yet. It was focused on other matters.
You realize how fast we would get places if we had one of those things?
Possibly. Again, you'd have to talk to Colton Frost to get your hands on one. Good luck.
I mean, he's your uncle, right? Should just give it to us. That's how it works. Family, right?
Are we in the like the downstairs of the inn?
No, you're walking. You're walking back. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought we were in the inn. Okay. Yeah. Yes. He is.
I would very much like to see one of those.
Do we have to see that one? I'm sure there's probably others around.
I understand. But we have other matters to attend to currently.
At this time, I would be very pleased to go and find an underground city far away from that.
Well, why do you want to be away from flying? I'm not even afraid to fall off those things anymore.
Mm. Yeah. Ah,
I believe it's more of what it represents, Winton.
I have
We
a lot of
should-
memories on that ship.
I can understand the representation part.
Mm.
And I'll put my hand on the dagger from Hugh.
Mm-hmm.
I would even think that an upstanding citizen like Marsland would have no issue trying to steal something like that. Research.
It would catch his interest so much.
You arrive at the end.
Just
way.
to tear it apart and see how it works.
And then draw it. Like a French boat.
Drop them.
I see what you did there.
Once we get back to the inn, I'll go up to check on Marsland and Lomar.
Good evening, Gerald. Marsland still in? Our blue
Yes.
friend?
Yes,
Good.
both of them. We've made sure they're well fed and taken care of.
Good. Good. Thank you. We'll
good.
go up to see them.
Are you all going up?
Yeah, I think what we have to discuss is better.
Okay. You head up the stairs and knock on the door. Marsden, you're kind of snapped to attention because you've been deep in this, and mentally you're pretty exhausted from poring over these things all day. Oh, it seems someone is at the door again. Did we order dessert? And you've had exquisite food all day.
Is it already time for dessert?
Oh, God, is your dessert?
I do believe that they might be bringing up. Is it chocolate? Is that what they call it? It's something from somewhere else.
Well, let's go to the door and see what they got.
Pounding on the door.
This one is much more impatient than the previous
Yes, it
room service.
seems they really want us to have what they've got.
Hold on, I'm coming to the door. Go over to the door and open it up.
You just see those three.
Oh, it is you three. Back already.
Already? It's been the entire day.
What time is it, by the way?
Look
At this-
outside, the sun's almost down.
Yeah, at this
Oh
point,
my gosh,
Marsland,
it is
you're
almost-
yeah.
I thought you were a room service, bringing up some sort of cake or chocolate of some sort.
We do not have any chocolate pies from Zormer's Bakery. I'm sorry. Well,
Lamar, do you mind if they come in for a second?
Sure. I'm actually I'm about done for the day. I was thinking of maybe heading down for what do they call a social drink? Yes.
This is a new concept to me, but I think I could get on board with it. And then maybe we could all discuss what we've discovered throughout the day.
If it
One other question before we decide to do that. In any of your research in this city, has red cloaks and faceless masks come up?
no, not at all. You speak of
That
the Night
seems
Walkers, correct? I've seen them from up here. You see everything from up here.
I did not know they were called Night Walkers.
Yes, it's a more recent development, maybe the last 2 months.
It seems that everyone in this town has seen them. And
Yes,
then
they don't
not
bother
seen
anyone.
them.
Did you run into them?
I am usually not out at that hour. But their noise sometimes, the footsteps late at night, sometimes they echo in here, and it makes it hard for me to read my books.
Do you have any idea what they're up to?
I don't pay them no mind.
Curious.
It seems that is the mentality of this entire city.
If
I
someone
find
is
that odd.
if someone is doing something that is not hurting anyone, why should it be of any concern?
One, the city is over an ancient city.
Allegedly.
I'm pretty sure that's not a legend. Some information. We just came from Briarfork, where there were people being kidnapped and used in experiments.
Well, that sounds awful.
Well, that is why we are here. We feel the person involved came here.
Well, that's no good at all.
Has there been anything about missing people here?
No. I can't say there's... Smyrna's pretty crime-free.
Well then, let us go have that drink.
That sounds delightful. Are you all going?
I back out of the room.
Beep, 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 beep.
Okay.
Are you calling me fat?
You called me stinky earlier.
No, I didn't. I told you to be more presentable.
Are you all going to the tavern?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. You head down, Lomar with you. Marslin, you and him talk back and forth about the things you discovered today. He even was willing to give you a few of his more favorite recreational reading books for your enjoyment.
Wow.
One-
Karmas?
One was the mathematical formulas of trinomial binomials. I don't know.
Oh yeah, my favorite book.
Mononomials.
You head inside, and you see the one guy in the corner that Bishop you gave some money to. Hey, it's my friends. And he nudges the guy beside him. That big metal guy, he paid for the entertainment tonight.
I'm glad you are enjoying it. Is this your wife?
No. But if your compatriot wants to be my next one, I could make that happen. And he kind of leans against Helga.
And I'll shake my head and step to the side.
He
letting
just
him
falls
fall.
over.
Yeah.
He just starts laughing. The barkeep. So, you're the one who gave him the money. It's been great business for me, but he can't hold his liquor.
I don't see how that is my concern.
Oh, it's not a concern. Not a problem. He's not aggressive.
As long as he's not causing any trouble.
And you feel a small shove from behind the bishop.
I'm sorry. I'll turn around.
You see you see Bryn. Did you come back to see me?
We'll talk to you shortly.
All right. I'll be over here. And she walks over there.
Let's get a table real quick, Martin. We got a couple things to discuss.
What's it looks like there was a table over there. Can we take that one?
Sure. I guess for starters, we should tell you that Helga has chosen to be tend to be mute around people, help to stay in disguise for the voice, since her voice does not match her body.
Well,
I mean, we
not.
don't always match our appearances.
Yes, but we want to stay undercover and hidden.
Do you think somebody that refuses to speak does not draw more attention?
Have you never heard of a mute person?
I have, and they always catch my attention. Curious.
Don't know if most people would say that there, Marsland.
Just staring a death stare at Marsland
Daggers.
now.
Daggers.
Well, what did you all manage to find today? Anything interesting?
We never saw hide nor tail of Aldera and her friends. We did look into the Night Walkers, as your friend Lamar has told us what people call them.
Yes, Nightwalkers.
And they keep seeming to disappear in the southern part of town in like an older district location. Same thing every night. So everything goes blacker than night, and then they're gone.
Did the buildings look more like they were from the old city, or it was like maybe the start of the rebuild of the new city?
They look considerably older than the other buildings.
Or do you think this could have anything to do with the old city?
It's a lead, and currently that is all we have. What did you find?
I will let Lamar recite that because I've not been told yet.
And they go back and forth for what seems like forever about the different things they found out today.
Anything we should know?
I told you earlier.
So, all right, just
Oh.
like out of character here,
Yep.
information that we have. So, Dosh was destroyed.
Yep.
There's magic from, did he say the ley lines that is seeping into the lake?
Dosh, Smyrna, and where
Salt Lake.
Sandalwood Lake.
Right. Well, I'm assuming that you told us that, because I know you and Lomar were at the table discussing magic seeping into the lake. So I'm assuming that's being brought up as well, since it's part of the ley line and
Yes.
the Undercity.
Yep.
Okay.
What are ley lines?
Magical, or in this context, they'd be like magical veins that run and connect things. That usually sources of power, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
In any of the maps or research, is there like a center, like meeting place of the three?
Didn't really get there.
Okay, nope, that's fine. I'm throwing everything out there to see what sticks.
Yep, that's fine.
The fact that these Nightwalkers disappear without a trace, I'm curious if they know of an entrance into the old city.
It is completely possible if it's in the older part of town. We could either try to investigate them tonight or more thoroughly tomorrow during the day.
How do you
It seems
propose that
they-
we investigate them?
only operate at night.
Oh no, are you suggesting that we go out in the dark?
That is exactly what I am suggesting. We know roughly an area. Maybe if we meet out there before they walk through, we can have eyes on them.
And it just so happens we have a friend whose house we could hide at while we're there too. And I'll glance over to the guy that Bishop gave gold to earlier.
He's completely passed out on the ground. Thanks for that raid, Jordan. See you, JD.
Was he in front of his house when we spoke to him?
You don't know.
No, I have no idea.
Mm. Well, based on what he was saying, I think all we gotta do is walk back in town and listen for a lady screaming for him.
Right.
But that seems like a plan for tonight.
I'll lean over it and whisper to them all, we should get some rest before this evening then.
How much time was it from us getting from the old part of the city to here?
I mean, from where you're at, probably walking, hour and a half.
And when did I see them from my room? When were they walking around last night? Time-wise.
Without actively tracking, I would say you aren't entirely sure. It was night. It was well into night.
Hey, Helga, do you remember what time you went out last night before you found them?
About an hour after we all retired to our room, I decided to go to the docks.
Do we remember what time we retired to the rooms?
I mean, there's not clocks, right? So
Yeah.
it's evening time.
I have an internal clock.
Yes, he runs off a CMOS battery. Did you know?
Okay.
I would say, as we're not sure what time they might be doing that, we should just go right after we're done eating, go right there and hope to find them.
While you eat, I have some business. I am not leaving the tavern, so I'll be here when you are ready to go.
Okay, Bishop.
AFK.
Okay.
The Marsland, Lawan, based on the information you guys found, what do you think the ley lines were doing or being used for?
Well, the ley lines, typically they funnel information. It could even be, it might be, Marsden, what do you think about it being a transportation network between the three cities? What is it possible?
Would I have any thoughts on this?
Sure.
What are your thoughts?
Spitball it.
Transportation, potentially. I hadn't considered that option yet. I was thinking more so of a way of mind controlling the population on the island. It seems to be the Shadowspark had a desire for control here.
Mind control. That is a fascinating theory as well. To answer your question, Quentin, is it I'm not sure. Why would we have these fonts set up on ley lines underneath the cities? I actually believe the font is even under the Undercity. So why would they be so far underground? And why? Why would they be connected? It's a fascinating thought.
I guess you'd have to know about what Dosh used to be.
Yes.
Besides it being a big city that was the center of an invasion or a fight between the Shadowsparks, what was it before that happened?
It was much like Smyrna as a port city. It was quite popular. They're known for their games and celebrations.
What about the city, the sunken city you guys are referring to in, what was it, the lake?
It's more of a missing city. I don't know if it's sunk or... I can't say that I am an accomplished swimmer to see if there's anything in there.
You said this was at the farm we went to, right? It's a lake that they were fishing on?
Sandalwood Lake. Yep.
Yeah, okay. Luckily enough, it's at the lake where we know somebody who probably is a good swimmer. Very nice gentleman. Stay at his farmhouse sometime. He's a hoot.
What is a hoot?
This is a term for someone who's a lot of fun.
I think it's something an owl does.
Yes,
it is an action.
I am familiar with what an owl does.
What does the owl bear?
Not an owlbear, completely different animal. You see, an owl is small and winged and flies through the night and catches small rodents, as where an owl bear is the amalgamation built from sorcery of an owl and that of a bear, and they make the noise you hear of night is usually the crunching of bones of their prey, which are usually human and yes, screaming. Yes.
You really do. Just you're into this knowledge. I love listening to you speak. Lamar is fascinating.
Toss out there that not every time you run into an owlbear does it involve in people being crunched and eaten. As we get flashbacks of running from the owlbears. Don't get in the way of their owlbear cubs, what you want to call them, though. They're very protective.
I would imagine so. Bishop, where were you going?
Talk to Bren.
Okay. So you head over and sit down. So, what you up to, big guy?
Just looking around town.
You decide if you want to go meet my friend or not?
I am interested. Not something I would do tonight, but maybe midday tomorrow.
Well, sure.
There's a lot about my construction I do not understand. I am only going on what I was told when I was being repaired. They did their best with what was left. A lot of this is their imagination and creativity. It works.
I'm sure he's got some answers.
It was just recently that someone brought battle automa to my attention. Of course, there is no information about them at all.
Yeah, news to me.
Insight check.
Okay.
Oh my god. How am I getting nat ones on this bullshit?
Sure seems pretty legit.
Okay. Your friend. How much information do they know on Warforged?
I would say they've got an extensive library.
I would be interested in picking his brain.
Anytime you're ready.
And I'll look over to the table where they're at. See if they're ready to go.
Are you all ready to go? You just
We'll nod at him.
okay.
It was nice talking to you again, Bren.
I'm usually here.
I will excuse myself from the table and head outside of the tavern.
So Lomar, he comes out there with you. Well, my friends, I do believe I'm feeling a bit lighter.
Feeling good over there, Lamar.
Yes. I do. I feel like doing something exciting. Like putting a cover on a book. Or
Look, gasp.
or rolling scrolls, or even reading something a bit scandalous.
Oh, Lomar, let's not get carried away now. I actually happen to know just the spot for you if you want to read some adult material.
Adult material? Where might I find that?
It is a bit of a journey from here.
Oh, it's not
Wait.
nearby.
So, oh gosh, where was it? Where was that?
I'm going to revel in this for calling my guy all sorts of names.
Are you referring to something on this island?
I
Or-
believe it was Parents' Folly.
yeah, or Drakenfold?
Was it Parents' Folly? I thought this is in Parents' Folly. We're gonna go with that.
It is not.
Was it here? I feel like it was here.
Yeah, don't send Lomar over to Parents' Folly. He might not come back.
It was at Madame Eustace's.
Okay. What's it, Madam Eustace's?
Matt,
Candor's
that was in
Keep.
Candor's Keep.
Yeah.
Come on, we know Marsden has extensive notes on that.
Pictures.
Better
Diagram.
get to it.
Okay, but yeah, so we don't worry about going in there right now, Lamar. It's a couple days journey from here, and you might change a shade of blue when you read that stuff.
That is scandalous.
If a Vidalcan blushes, does he turn purple?
I do think that is true.
As purple as your hoodie.
I like that hoodie.
But if I believe we are going back to the old part of town, Lamar, are you going to be okay getting back to the inn?
I do believe I have. Yes, I do. And he pulls out, and he's got this exquisite map of the town. I believe we are located right here. So as long as I take this street down, yes, I can I can find the way.
Good. Wouldn't want anything to happen to you.
Marston, will I be expecting you in the morning again to continue our research?
Assuming that nothing happens that gets us hurt tonight, then if you could use the extra help, I think that I could probably provide that.
Do be safe.
We will try our best.
And he walks with you all until he gets to the point where he must turn and head toward the inn and gives you a wave.
Have a good night. I am glad you came out and enjoyed this new social hour.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime.
Isn't it technically the other way around? Shall we go?
Oh, yep, let's go. We need to make sure that we're there before they are.
I want to move at a quicker pace. I'm not saying running, but
Yeah, sure. Okay.
faster than walking.
You get down there to the corner. It's quiet night.
Where we were at, I asked if there was any abandoned. So I want to check and see if there's like somehow we can get into one of the houses and maybe watch from off the street.
Okay. Yeah, I would say there is, and Oz, you kind of reach over and pull one of the boards out easily, and you all can kind of crawl inside this rat-infested stone and wood building with debris all over the floor. It smells terrible. You're pretty sure there's a dead body in the corner of someone who just was left in there. It's not fresh. It's just been there a while.
I'm just going to say a little prayer for the dead body.
Okay.
Rest this man's soul.
Speak undead. Speak undead.
What happened to you?
Yes, it is. No.
Please, won't somebody ask me a question?
Yes. You wait. The streets go from light commotion to silence. Moments pass by. You see torchlight and hear footsteps. They get closer.
Don't you do it.
Roll for it. No. You hide the best you can within the shadows. And you see the red-cloaked individuals passing by in front of you. You see their pale masks. And they continue to pass by. 6 in total.
Looks like our friends have come.
Excuse me, sir. Do you have a moment to talk?
You said this out loud? From inside
Yes.
the abandoned building?
Marsland, you...
Okay. Someone turns. What was that? A moment to talk. And he's moving the torch around.
We're contacting you about your buggy's extended warranty.
Speak up.
We're just curious where you're going.
Who is that? I can't see. Step out into the light.
I'm fine with just having a conversation for right now.
He steps back. I'm not. And he returns to the group and continues walking.
Marsland, we're trying to hail them? Why are you trying to talk to them?
Sometimes it's best just to ask.
If they
No,
That's how I was
you're
raised.
wrong.
if they wanted to talk, they wouldn't have done whatever they did to Helga. And so let's try to sneak around the back of that house to keep tailing them.
What do you want to do?
Yeah. At this point,
Try to sneak out and tail them from around the houses.
Okay. You crawl through some of the debris until you find an old door. Helga just kind of brutally pushes it open. The door swings open. As you do, you look out, and in the darkness of night, there's just this surrounding circle of just blackness floating in the air. Really,
is it moving
no,
away from us?
no, it's staying there like a squid's ink cloud in the water.
I'll cast magical awareness. Or I'll use magical awareness.
Yeah, it's definitely a magically created darkness.
Don't you have dispel magic, Marslin?
You. I do not.
I thought you used it before. I'm sorry.
No, I'm the one who has it, and I technically didn't have it prepared. I don't have it prepared, so
I couldn't remember which one of you guys tried using it before.
And whose? It was me. Yeah, I don't have it prepared. I had something else prepared.
Okay.
Well, should we try going into this cloud of freaking darkness? Or at least try to see where it ends?
Yeah. I suggest we be careful.
Now I'll pull out my mace and cast light on it.
Okay, the darkness envelops the light.
Yeah, figured that, but yeah, I don't think I have anything for it.
So you all walk into the darkness?
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
I am.
Okay.
I suggest that we each hold onto each other's shoulders or hands so that we don't get separated. I'll reach out my hand.
I'm just going to pull out my rope and say, here, hold the rope.
I'll grab a hold of the rope.
Okay. You slowly, carefully enter the darkness. It's unnatural walking into it. It's just inky blackness, no light at all. And you feel who's in front?
I will be
Bishop.
since
Yeah, Bishop kind of went to the first. I can follow behind.
I'm
Okay.
going to try to listen for anything.
Okay. You don't hear anything, but as you reach out, you feel something firm like stone. You push on it. Doesn't move.
I'm going to continue to walk with my hand, like feeling it.
You find an edge where it turns. Continue following the stone. After a few moments, you pass out of the darkness back into the streets. Standing beside this corner building here. the darkness dissipates. There's no sign of anything to be seen.
It's very curious indeed. The darkness we just went through is gone.
Yep.
I'm going to carefully go back and see if I see any signs of any ritual or movable pieces or any presence of somebody having been there or tampered with something.
Give me an investigation.
Ooh, 26.
Okay. Well, with a roll like that,
I get nothing.
you find a small pinch of bat fur, a small piece of coal laying on the ground.
Guys, it appears as if somebody might have been trying to perform something here. Don't quite know what to make of it.
Could it be used to make that darkness back there?
Could it have been used for the darkness or something to be done while in the darkness?
Maybe.
Or it's what they use to cast. Which they wouldn't have done if we had just watched.
Sorry, sometimes I can't help myself.
Now, Bishop, based on what everybody said, they vanish into blackness no matter what. They might cast it every time.
We don't know that.
I agree, we do not. It's just a possibility.
And now they know that we, or someone, is onto them.
Awesome.
2 nights in a row, they were tailed by somebody. I believe they'd be suspicious of something if we try to follow them again tomorrow night.
I mean, there's 6-footed figures crawling through the middle of the night. I mean, that's just screams suspicious.
Yes,
They do.
but as we've learned, nobody pays attention to them. And as we've seen, nobody is on the streets.
Deliberately ignorant.
They didn't attack us. What if we just tried to talk to them?
They didn't know where we were. And now, if they had a hidden doorway, we don't know.
The only thing we could do is start looking through all these houses. That'd be too time consuming.
So, okay. Let's see if we can get a positive out of this. From where the darkness started to where the darkness ended, and where we were, do we have an area that we could kind of grid out?
What are you trying to grid out?
The area that any of the houses that they could have darted off into while in the darkness.
Okay, so in that, be this block here. You were in this building here when they walked by. The darkness was here on the corner. So they either stopped and went north, or they're inside one of these buildings.
Okay.
That's a starting point.
Yeah.
We can start investigating tomorrow during the day.
Now, would it be the three of us investigating or four of us? Because I imagine Marsden wants to keep working with Lamar to map out where the entrance could be. This could be the entrance. Sorry, I was playing Dying Light 2 and Lawan's a person in Dying Light 2.
Lomar.
I know. But
Well, as seeing the performance by Marsden this evening, maybe more research is a better option, as spying is not.
I never was very good at sneaking out of the house or just sneaking in general. Always too honest and to the point, I suppose. I am happy to help with the research, though.
All you had to do was not talk.
But nobody said to not talk.
We spent hours not talking.
You've never tailed anybody in your life, have you, Marsland?
No, why would I do that?
No one ever did something you want to know about, but you didn't want them to know you want to know about it?
I would just ask them, and they would tell me.
One of these days, that might get you stabbed.
Oh, it had been quite a number of years before there was any sort of nefarious murder in Rashan. That didn't happen there.
That's there. This is here. Two different places.
I have been learning this very quickly, friend.
It's because they were too busy reading books. Death by a paper cut is the only murder that ever happened, and that is accidental.
How did you know about the great paper cut accident?
A wild guess.
It caused quite a stir in the community.
Is this why you all wear gloves now?
As a matter of fact, it is.
You guys suffer from some disease that makes you guys bleed out easily. Is that why you...
No, you don't want that to be canon. Marsden won't survive the next combat. No. I'm a hemophiliac. Oh, okay, you better get your backup character.
Well, the night was not a complete waste, I guess. We should probably head back.
Perhaps we can ask somebody about the ingredients that we found in the floor. Maybe somebody is more practiced in the arcane and could give an idea of what those would
do those ingredients mean anything to me as a spell that could be used for?
Can you cast darkness?
I don't think. No, I think that's the spell I was looking for. I didn't notice it.
Okay, so that's what it was for.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't have it. Which is what I thought. Another interesting thing is they go by the old locations, but the darkness only covered a newer part of the town. Right? It was the green building right above the red ones, right?
On the corner. Yep.
Yeah. And I'm could be assuming wrong because color coding. But I assume that those are part of like the newer buildings.
Possibly.
There's a trap door that leads down, and right there's a library.
I'm not saying that, but I'm trying to go with common sense here.
Yeah, no, I follow where you're at. But we are on our way back to the inn again to get some sleep before we head out. As we're talking, discussing this?
Yep.
Okay.
You arrive back at the inn. Well, good evening again. I hope that you had an enjoyable evening.
It was experienceful. He learned that Marsden likes to talk randomly.
Nothing wrong with that. I also like to talk myself.
As long as you don't
Thank you.
answer yourself.
Sometimes.
But no, I hope you have a good rest of your night, and I'll head up to the room with Bishop.
Okay. Helga.
I will go up to my room and get ready to retire.
Okay. And Marsden.
I will also go up to my room.
All right. You all slide into bed and rest. Bishop, are you sitting at the window again?
Yeah.
Okay. You sit at the window, begin resting, looking out over. You can now see Bishop over into the dock area. The object that flew over you earlier is just kind of resting there from what you can see. Doesn't look like it's moving up and down like the other ships. It's just kind of transfixed. It's quite intricate and fantastic looking. As you all fade to sleep. And none of you ever wake up again. This is the end of campaign 2.
Marsden let us expose ourselves, and they came back and murdered us in our sleeps.
That's where we're going to end tonight. We're going to send you over to another D&D group here shortly. Thanks again, Jordan CFJD, for that raid of 9 viewers. Always appreciate those folks coming by. We will not be here next week for D&D. I've got things to take care of, but we'll be back. Let me make sure I'm looking at this the correct way. Why do they do that, Windows? Okay. We'll be gone the 8th. We'll be back the 15th of May. So a little bit of a break. It's good for us as well. Allows us to catch some information. Maybe we'll have some other streaming and stuff going on, but we couldn't really arrange a streaming thing unless time goes really quickly or we start later on Monday. So probably not. So, all right. Any thoughts from tonight, team?
I feel like we're opening a massive can of worms.
No, that can of worm was open when you cast your hole digging magic back on episode 2.
I love it so much. This city is deep, and not just for
because
what it
of the
is.
city underneath it.
Not because of that.
I was not expecting much from the city, and so far the city is turning out to be my favorite.
It may be my favorite thing that I've set up. So, and we haven't even scratched the surface. Like everything I did on Sunday, y'all didn't touch at all.
Sick.
So, all right. With that, we're going to head off and we're going to send you over to, let's see what we got here. What we got up. Our pen and paper people aren't up. We're going to send you over to Blue Cottage D&D. If I can spell that right. So, until next time, we'll see you in the dungeon. Take care, everyone.
The end is upon us, I promise you novices don't want no problem with me. So watch how you talking and where you been walking, they call me the BBEG. I'm more than a little OP, I do what I want to, that's a mantra. Keep 'em running and gunning like Contra, I'm a monster. The end is upon us, I promise you novices don't want no problem with me. So watch how you talking and where you been walking, they call me the BBEG. I'm more than a little OP, I do what I want to, yeah that's a mantra. I keep 'em running and gunning like Contra, yo I'm a monster. Turn it up. What you know about the final boss? I got him trying to buy time with the sign of the cross. I redefine high crime and the meaning of loss. I'm off hip, but I body like I'm playing lacrosse. Beat to the EG, I'm keeping them queasy. I make it seem easy, acknowledge me. I've been demolishing your cities, I'm astonishingly sleazy. I'm the big bad, y'all must be the cast. I'm killing a master, villain, a blast, a disaster. Really a rap bastard, within the rap fast for the masses. I ravage all races and classes. Savage, I can't stop myself.